Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, and we're about to go for a run. But look what got delivered yesterday. This is exciting. Do you know what color they are? Do we guess? Let's see. They're the black ones! Yay! Obviously we would have liked more color, but to save 24 euros, now we're going to be a sleek, ultra black runner. Here's the old ones. The old ones were nice because the reason I kept buying the shoe was because of this pronation support. As you can see, these ones don't look like they have it anymore, which is a little bit of a bummer. So this will be an experiment. We might not like this shoe anymore, but we'll see. Let's try it out. This is an exciting morning. So they do feel a bit clunky, like they're quite big, if you can see. So that is very good advertising. Wow. Now this boat is gonna come through. So shoe review, I ran pretty fast in them. I don't know if it was just a mental thing, I've got new shoes, but I did a 56:30. So that's pretty good for me, to be honest, for 10Ks. They definitely do have the pronation support. Nobody wants this review, but I want it. It does have the pronation support, which is quite cool. I could actually feel it, so that was really nice. My toes got a bit tingly because I think they're new shoes, so hopefully my toes will stop being tingly. But I'm very happy with them. It's so nice to run in new shoes. Wow, it feels so nice. Good morning. I'll let you take a guess as to my shirt if I'm going into the office today. Well, you got it right. I'm not going to go into the office today. But there is something that I do want to talk about. I've eaten my breakfast already. But it's smell. Okay, for those of you who know me personally, I have a very sensitive nose. So smell bothers me, but it's also one of the things that's most beautiful in this world. Now, I was thinking about it yesterday when my shoes arrived and I was smelling them. They smelled so nice and new. And also when I came into this apartment here, it smelled like an animal had been living here. And these people didn't believe me, but anyway, there's definitely an animal that was living here before me. And that's okay, I love animals, but it still smelled. And the smell bothered me, and it still has a little bit of a smell. But I think if we zoom out a little bit, I always used to say that my deodorant, so I bought deodorant in South Africa, and when I brought it here, it smelled different. And I was like, no ways, like, how can it smell different? And I was like, this is all psychosomatic. And I still believe it's psychosomatic. But on that, I believe that nowadays we have this like idea that we need to sanitize, optimize, purify the air and spaces that we live in. I think in the Western world, or in world climates where it gets very cold, you need HVAC systems. For my third world viewers, HVAC system is like internal ventilation that like keeps things cool in the summer and then hot in the winter. With these HVAC systems and these air cons and these air purifiers, all this kind of stuff, we've erased scent. Maybe not on a huge level, but we've eliminated something about it. When I was a kid, I used to go to my different people's houses and be like, oh, that's that person's house smell. That's your house smell. And they smelt. I just felt like smell was an important thing. Whereas here, in the Netherlands, or maybe I'm more aware of it, but I don't feel like smell is as strong. Like I go outside and I don't really smell that much. And I feel like in South Africa I smelled so much more. Maybe that was pollution, maybe there's less pollution here. But I think today I want to talk about the technology's effect on smell in our spaces. Weird one, but interesting, I think. So one of the perks of actually working from home is I get my own coffee in the greatest mug in the world. Currently sitting here, getting some stuff done. So yeah, it's been productive already. You know, it's been pushed. You just saw that I pushed the code. Now it is time for our lunchtime mission. My sister is coming this weekend and she loves Swedish sausages. So let's go get her a Swedish sausage. That's actually harder to say. Maybe I have a lisp. Check you there. So we're at an interesting spot right now on our way on our bicycle to find some Swedish sausages. But the first premise, I guess, of today's discussion is that the smell is the oldest way in which we know something is real. Smell is this immediate thing. It almost bypasses our language or our memory. Like, remember how nice that guy smelled, or your mother's home-cooked meals? It instantaneously takes you back. It's also how we detect danger in the wild, I assume. Oh, there's a fire, we smell that, we're like, oh, something is wrong. And also, there's a song that goes, I wish I could bottle up my childhood smell of my house and put it in a candle. Very cool song. That. Candle out of it. That's something that's interesting, because there's only a few people in the world that can actually resonate with that, and that's probably your siblings. But it's important. Well, that smell of the childhood candle burning brings back memories upon memories, and it feels so real to us. Okay, after our 20-minute cycle, we're here. Do you know where we are? Can you tell? Can you tell? Does this give it away? It's probably not. But this might. Can you see? We're going to head in there just now. But I want to talk about the second premise, is that we are engineering our way out of smell. And hear me out. So, as I was saying this morning, South Africa had these particular smells. I need to move this hair from me because it's going to annoy me when I edit. South Africa had these particular smells. Like I said, my Vava's house or my grandparents' house smelled like something. My friend's house smelled like something. And I think maybe it's because we didn't have HVAC systems and air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. But it felt lived in. It smelled like people. It smelled like food. It smelled... I don't want to say it smelled dirty, but it smelled like there was life in it. And coming to a first world where there's aircon everywhere, there's HVAC systems everywhere, there's not really a smell. And I'm struggling if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You walk into the train station, doesn't smell like anything different. You go to your friend's house, it kind of all smells the same. Even shopping centers, like going into, okay, sometimes the bakery sections does smell, but things just are different. And obviously there's air purifiers there for a reason. Like mold is a big thing, and don't get me started about mold, but you don't want mold to build up, so you do want to clear the air. But through this engineering to make our lives more comfortable and more sanitized, we're removing something that's so fundamentally human, and it's like a little bit unsettling. But again, I'm a little bit of a clean freak, so I like the sanitized notion of it, and I don't necessarily want to smell what my neighbor is cooking, but I really want the smell of a braai from my neighbors coming in. So yeah, there's a tension there that I'm grappling with. But now, let's go get some sausage. And we found them. Is this enough? I think. Enough for her? I think. Should be. So, I hope you appreciate my color choices for this outing. Does it match? Does it match? I think so. And with that, the workday is done. We just finished up and then we cooked our dinner, and it's a lot of cabbage and a lot of greens, so I thought we'd continue our discussion on smell. I think the final point that we have today is that without smell, we lose some kind of truth. Now, obviously, I'm stretching this argument quite a bit, and it's not saying that we've lost all smell in first world countries. That's not what I'm saying. You can still walk outside, you still have smell, and what a privilege it is to walk outside and not smell pollution in a first world. Like, I do acknowledge that, but there is something about these HVAC systems and these purification and all of this kind of stuff that we lose this layer of what's actually going on underneath. Now, my previous apartment before this one actually had quite a bit of mold in it on the walls, and I didn't know about it because it had this like air purifying thingy that I couldn't smell it. But if you inspected the walls underneath the wallpaper, it was all over. It was actually really bad, but we lost that, and it's scary in itself. Again, the tension exists between me, like I do want clean fresh air, but I also want it to smell like when I go visit my sister or whatever. I want it to smell like her. I don't want it to smell like nothing. Or like going to a big building in university, it doesn't have a smell. Whereas my university back in South Africa, it has a particular smell, and I can recognize it. But here, I don't think it does. It's just pure. And yeah, I don't think there's anything hard on like that I've got to say out of this. It's more just technology is changing something quite fundamental to us humans in the spaces that we inhabit. And I think it's quite evident when you contrast it between a first and a third world. And I just thought that was an interesting tidbit of information that I found moving from a third world to a first world. So anyway, I'm gonna eat my cabbage now. I'll see you later. So, it is almost shower time, but I have a block drain over here, and I'm strategically placed the camera just so you can't see it, because I will spare you. But that does have a smell, I think. Actually, it doesn't right now. And I'm gonna lift it up and see and get all this stuff out of it. But first, this is some riveting content. We've got a little sucky. I guess that's what we would say. Okay, you can't see, but this is the lid. And now, good evening, everyone. It is quite late today, actually. It's almost 9:15, and usually I'm in bed by this time. But I was editing like 2 days ago's video with the clocks, and wow, that one is all over the place. I don't even know what I was saying. That was a rough day for me. Sorry if you wasted your time watching that. Anyway, our thought experiment for the day is called The Place with No Trace. Imagine a world where you move through places, but you leave nothing behind. No footprints, no scent, no heat. Every room you enter stays exactly the same after you leave. No lingering smell of your clothes, no hint of your mood, no trace of your presence. The system is perfect. It resets instantaneously. You'll never be embarrassed, never exposed, never uncomfortable. But one day, you start to wonder, if nothing changes when you enter a room, did you ever really arrive? If you get the reference to that old philosophical quote, put it down in the comments below. I'm off to bed, guys. I will check you tomorrow.